Hello everyone, this is Asra Sultana, Assistant Professor in Triply Department, ISL Engineering College. I am taking the subject Power System Operation and Control for Triply final year students. So previous class we have discussed the various units, the course outcomes and course objectives and the content of the subject Power System Operation and Control. So first chapter deals with load flow studies. So load flow solution of the power system will require the two steps, that is formulation of the network equations and suitable mathematical technique for the solution of the equations. So formulation of network equations, we are first finding out the network equation using Z bus or Y bus. Then a mathematical technique like Gauss-Seidel method, Newton-Raphson method or fast decoupled method we are applying to find out the solution of these equations. So the system we are studying is under steady state condition and the network equations will be in the form of simple algebraic equations. So usually in the real power system the load and generation is continuously changing, but here we are assuming that loads and their generation are fixed at a particular value over a suitable period of time. Load flow solution is a solution of the network under steady state conditions subject to certain inequality constants under which the system will operate. So first of all, what is a constant? Constant means limitations or basic operating conditions in power systems. So there are four constants of power system, that is active power constant, reactive power constant, voltage magnitude constant and load angle constant. Now let us see the classification of buses. In a power system, each bus or node is associated with four quantities. What are those four quantities? Real power, reactive power, voltage magnitude and phase angle. So real power is designated by P suffix G, reactive power Q suffix G, bus voltage magnitude mod V and phase angle delta. And in a load flow solution, 2 out of the 4 quantities will be specified and remaining 2 are to be required to be obtained through the solution of the equations. So depending upon which quantity have been specified, the buses are classified in the three categories, that is load bus, generator bus and slack bus. So what is a load bus? In this bus, real and reactive components or power are specified. It is designed to find out voltage magnitude and phase angle through the load flow solution. So here I have mentioned here the quantities which are specified are P and Q. Quantities which are to be obtained are V and delta. Next is generator bus or voltage controlled bus. Here the voltage magnitude corresponding to the generation voltage and real power corresponding to its rating are specified. It is required to find out the reactive power generation and the phase angle of the voltage. Then slack swing or reference bus. So usually these two buses are enough for a power system, that is load bus and generator bus. But there is one more bus called as reference bus. We are taking here a swing bus or slack bus as a reference bus. So losses remain unknown until the load flow solution is complete. So for this reason, generally one of the generator buses is made to take additional real and reactive power to supply transmission losses. So this type of bus is also known as slack or swing bus. So at this bus, voltage magnitude and phase angle are specified, whereas real and reactive powers will be obtained through the load flow solution. Phase angle of voltage at the slack bus is usually taken as reference. So following analysis, real and reactive components of voltage at a bus are taken as independent variables for the load flow equation, that is VI angle delta I will be equal to EI plus JFI. That is EI and FI are the real and reactive components of the voltage at ith bus. There are various other formulations wherein either voltage or current or both are taken as independent variables. Load flow equations can be formulated using either the loop or bus frame of reference. So however, but from point of view of computer time and memory, nodal admittance formulation using the nodal voltages as the independent variables is the most economic form of obtaining the load flow equations. So now let us see briefly the nodal admittance matrix. So load flow equations using nodal admittance formulation for a 3-bus system are developed first. Then we are going to see for a n-bus system. So this is a 3-bus system. We can see here 3 nodes 1, 2, 3. At these 3 nodes, currents are I1, I2 and I3. So I am writing the equations at bus 1, 2, 3. Entering current is equal to leaving current. So at bus 1, entering current is I1, leaving current are I12, I11 and I13. So similarly as at bus 2, entering current is I2, leaving current is I23, I22 and I21. Bus 3 at bus 3, entering current is I3 and leaving currents are I31, I33 and I32. So I am writing at node 1, equation for I1 is I11 plus I12 plus I13. So what is the equation for I? I will be equal to V by Z. So 1 by Z is admittance Y. So in place of 1 by Z I am writing it as Y. So I11 now becomes equal to V1 Y11 and I12 is equal to V1 minus V2 into Y12 and I13 is V1 minus V3 into Y13. So now what I am doing here, third equation you see V1 Y12 minus V2 Y12 plus V1 Y13 minus V3 Y13. Now I am taking V1 as common. V1 if I take common, Y11 plus Y12 plus Y13 will be inside the bracket. Then remaining terms you write minus V2 Y12 minus V3 Y13. So now this entire term, that is Y11 plus Y12 plus Y13, I am taking as capital Y11 and minus Y12 I am taking as capital Y12 and minus small Y13 I am taking as capital Y13. So Y11, small Y11 is the shunt charging admittance at bus 1 and ground. So nodal equation for I1 we got it as V1 capital Y11 plus V2 Y12 plus V3 Y13. Similarly, for other nodes also we can write the equation as I2 is V1 Y21 plus V2 Y22 plus V3 Y23 and I3 is equal to V1 Y3 plus Y31 plus V2 Y32 plus V3 Y33. So these equation of I1, I2 and I3 can be written in matrix form also like this. That is I1, I2, I3 is equal to Y11, Y12, Y13, Y21, Y22, Y23, Y31, Y32, Y33 into V1, V2, V3. Or in compact form, these equations can be written as IP is summation Q is equal to 1 to 3 by PQ, VQ, P is equal to 1 to 3. So this is for 3-bus system I have written. Now for an n-bus system, how I can write IP is equal to IP will be equal to summation Q is equal to 1 to n. So for the 3-bus system I have written Q is equal to 1 to 3. N-bus system I am writing Q is equal to 1 to n, Y P Q V Q, P is equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on till n. And for this equation we can write the matrix form as like this. That is I1, I2, I3 and so on In on left hand side will be equal to Y11 matrix Y11, Y12 and so on Y1n into V1, V2 and so on Vn. So this is for a n-bus system. So this diagram is showing a 5-bus system. Similar what we have seen 3-bus. Now this is 5-bus system having nodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this for this 5-bus system by PQ equation I got as Y11, Y12, 0, Y14, Y15. So we can see here many zeros are present for a Y-bus system. So it can be seen that out of 25 elements, 8 elements are 0 whereas 17 are non-zero. So in a large system of 100 nodes, these non-zero elements can be as small as 2% of the total elements. So out of 25 elements, 8 are 0 here. Yes, when you count here, you can see that 8 elements are 0. So for a large system of 100 nodes, this is for 5 nodes we have seen. For 100 node system, these non-zero elements will be small as 2% of the total elements. So computer memory requirement for storing nodal admittance matrix will be very low and it needs to store only a few non-zero elements. It need not store the zeros of the matrix. So here the storage requirement of computer memory will be very less. That's why to calculate the load flow equations, we are going for the nodal admittance matrix, Y-bus system. We are going for a Y-bus system. So load flow solution requires the 2 steps, that is formulation of network equation that we are doing with the help of Y-bus. Then suitable mathematical technique for the solution of the equations. So as I said earlier, GS, NR, decoupled and fast decoupled methods. We are going to see the flow chart, we are going to see the algorithms, and we are going to see the theory, the derivation, and also some few problems based on the these mathematical technique methods. Also, we are going to see the problems to find out the Y-bus matrix. There are four constants of a power system: active, reactive power, reactive power, voltage magnitude, and load angle. And bus classification we have seen, that is there are three types of buses: load bus, generator bus, and slack bus. So at each bus two quantities will be specified and two quantities need to be obtained. Load bus, we can two quantities that are specified are active power and reactive power, and quantities to be obtained are magnitude of voltage and the angle, phase angle between them. Then generator bus, active power and voltage magnitude is given, and we have to find out reactive power and the phase angle. For slack bus, magnitude of voltage and angle is given, and we have to find out the active and reactive powers. So active power represented by P suffix G, or simply P also we can write. Reactive power by Q, or Q suffix G, voltage by V, and angle by delta. So generator bus is also called as voltage control bus, and slack bus is also called as swing bus or reference bus. So for load flow solution using nodal admittance formulation for a 3-bus system, we are developing first, then it is generalized for an n-bus system. We have found out first the value of currents, that is I1, I2, I3 in the form of V into Y. So V into Y, I is equal to Vy, and we are writing in matrix form. That is I1, I2, I3 is equal to Y11, Y12, Y13 into V1, V2, V3. So, for these equations of matrix form can be written in the form of equation as IP is equal to summation Q is equal to 1 to 3 by PQ, VQ, comma P is equal to 1 to 3. So 3-bus system. If it is 5-bus system, we can write the equation as IP is equal to summation Q is equal to 1 to 5 by PQ, VQ, P is equal to 1 to 5. So similarly for n-bus system, what we are writing, IP is equal to summation Q is equal to 1 to n by PQ, VQ, P is equal to 1 to 3 and so on n. And same thing we are writing in the form of a matrix. Similarly, here we have written a for 3-bus system. For n-bus system also we are writing the matrix form. I1, I2 and so on till In is equal to left hand side. Right hand side it will be Y into V. That is Y matrix is Y1, 1, Y1, 2 and so on till Yn, Y1n. Then second row will be Y21, Y22 and so on till Y2n, and so on. Last one will be what? Yn1, Yn2 and so on till Yn is equal into V1, V2 and so on Vn. So for 5-bus system also we have seen the matrix YPQ. So what we have observed here, that there are many zero terms here. Non-zero elements are 17 and zero elements are 8. So computer memory requirement for storing nodal admittance matrix will be low, because it has to store only non-zero elements. It did not store the zeros of the matrix. Okay students, thank you everyone. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you.